and I'm feeling good.
Now you got sound. Hello, hello, hello. Dada, you are the best social media coordinator ever. Can you hear me now? Got love for you and your mama. Happy birthday to moms. Can you hear me? You know who it is? It's Mika of Love Inspired Teach E. Like Firestarters podcast. That's what we're doing right now. Dada, can you hear me? Sound check. Yes, awesome sauce. No problem. Of course, it's Black History Month. We celebrating everything Black and it's Chicago Restaurant Week. So if you didn't know, you should know. You should be at 730 South Park Street, All Star Seafood and Sports. Shout out to the owners, Robert and Homa. Love y'all. Awesome sauce. Because bowling is a sport. Philly is my bartender today. So shout out to Philly. Please on top of it. All right, we are here with my guest. You know who my guest is? Dada. Thank you for your comments. You know who my guest is? Does anyone know who my guest is? Any guesses on our guest today? Ekale. What does that mean? He's teaching me Yoruba, y'all. Dada's always on point. He's here when I need him to be here. IG, you want to come on in? I gotta get IG up. IG, where you be at? It's podcast day. People have been texting me all day like I don't podcast every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, like 5:30. Just in case y'all were wondering where Tanika's at on Tuesdays. Where am I at, y'all? All Star Seafood and Sports at 7:30 South Clark Street. How was it getting here, Drew?
It wasn't bad.
You guys can see Drew. Sneak peek. Sneak peek. That's true. I gotta put his name up. But his name is up, but I just want y'all to let me do what I do. The way I do it. Because IG's not here yet. So you just gotta wait because we're giving people time to get off of work, get
Yeah.
some coffee, get a drink, because he's drinking cold like
Not put that out there to the world.
He wanted Blue Moon though, so I'm gonna give him props because he wanted Blue Moon, but I was like, wait, I used to bartend, and I'm over here like, that's the best we could do. Oh yes, Donna with the win. Andrew Jackson is the right answer. It's on the screen, y'all. Come on. What up, though? Let's say hello to IG. How you feeling? We got good lighting. We got good lighting in this corner that we're in. And I'm so thankful we got sound properly up right now. And you know what? Just scooch in while I fix this.
All right.
So, Drew, do you like seafood?
Not a huge fan.
Why
Well, just not my thing.
not? Drew used to work at a restaurant. He used to manage a whole pizza place.
I know. That's where I learned all my cooking skills.
I don't tell people about my cooking skills. I just cook with Dada because Because being half Filipino, of course I know how to cook, but I don't want a man to be like, cook for me. I'd be like, are you gonna cook for me too? Can you cook? Like, what's really going on? What's tell me the good word, y'all. I mean, everybody has to know how to do all the things. All the things. You got to do all the things. I'm just saying, like, why are you making me do it? I'm just saying, everybody comfy at with 5 minutes in. When y'all gonna get yourselves together? Oh, 3 people? I love y'all. Thank you. What are y'all supposed to do? Like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment is what the children say. Then if you're on Facebook, you're supposed to give us the stars because we need all the stars because we are stars. And what else are we supposed to do? We're supposed to do a lot. Like, the world is too much right now. Like, the world asks us to do all the things and we'd be overwhelmed, and then they're like, your mental health. I'm like, you're right. You're right. My mental health is in need of some work because you asked me to do all the things. All the things. I'm like, what are all the things, y'all? What are all the things? So, yeah. So, I think I'm ready to introduce. I don't know. Are y'all ready to start, or what y'all want to do? We never ever wait on the people wait on us. That's just saying. That's how it goes. So anyhow, thank you for all of you who are commenting. You're lucky I didn't go on the fan base because fan base and Isaac Hayes and I'm like, get these glitches together because the way my lives be, I'm like, is it lost? Where did it go? It's in space. It's in the internet, web space, the dark space. Pick a spot. I don't know where it's at. So, all right, we're gonna start. Just opened up IG real quick. Realized Empath says, I seriously wonder how many highly intuitive, intelligent, and totally sane men and women have been labeled crazy because they got too close to figuring out someone's BS. We went to the same high school, y'all.
That's right.
We went to different middle schools. We grew up in Naperville, Aurora area, western suburbs. Who's in the house? And you don't know? Ooh wee. Like, call me crazy one more can. Wait, I'm a Taurus. Don't let me see red, y'all. I mean, like, I will. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. We're a little too bright up in this thing. So, I'll fix that first. Yeah, because, we black. Shades of black and whatnot. Shades of black. We're like that.
How's that work?
The lighting, y'all. The lighting is too bright.
Chocolate off camera, but looks a little different right now.
Wait, I look good as hell. I'm like, what's wrong with this camera right here? Let me help you look it up. Let me just fix it. Is it better? We're cutting up over here. This is LITE Firestarters. This is spicy topics. We're talking about cryptocurrency because everybody's afraid of cryptocurrency because the scammers got me. They got me good.
Yeah.
They got me good. And then my Bitcoin. The scammers got me for Bitcoin too, y'all. That hurt. It hurt the pockets a lot. So once Drew explained it to me, because we did a whole podcast about Bitcoin 2 years ago. He looked it up. So we got new tips for y'all. Okay. So who is Drew? Okay. So Drew is a nurse, a father, a man, a human being. He also was a professor at Aurora University.
No, not Aurora.
Chamberlain University. He went to Lewis University though, so shout out to Lewis University folks because when we were in college, I'll never forget he was telling about this conversation in the computer lab about what people do. We were like, really? Are we gonna try that? We tried it, it didn't work out so great. I was like, I don't want to do this. I was good on that. I was like, we gotta stop. This is not cool. This is not cool. Then my roommate, who I went to high school with, she needed Drew coming to visit me. I'm like, get your fruit behind. Oh Like, it's expensive to get a hotel room every time my boyfriend comes into town.
Yeah.
The hell? Like, we have an air mattress for anything.
Yeah. Get you a van.
Find somebody else's dorm room to stay up in.
Yeah. You know, be frugal. You'll find ways to get it done.
I'm just saying, like, so I was saying, if you caught the earlier part, my necklace from Drew, which I should have, my pendant says special friend because we knew we would always remain friends because we had a strong foundation in our relationship. So he's a lot to me. We have a deep connection. Screw soul ties. I know everybody keeps talking about soul ties. Like, this is real life. Okay? Yes, I have a soul, but I'm in present day America with the orange juice. Ooh, juice. I saw juice. I'm sorry, I get distracted when I see my school up on the screen. So, Drew, what would you like to tell them about yourself?
About me. Well, like you said, I'm a nurse. The way I got into Bitcoin is, like anybody, you go through financial challenges, ups and downs. I never was a finance major or anything like that, but
I was an econ major.
when the pandemic hit is when I really started to learn about finances and Bitcoin. I started out reading, the first book I read was Rich Dad Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki, and that was during the pandemic. And so that got me interested in investing. And then I started to learn about, different types of investment opportunities, gold, things like that. And then learning about gold is how I came across Bitcoin. But an interesting story about learning about gold is when I was first reading that book, I realized that buying physical gold was a little more challenging. And so the next best thing to do was to buy stocks in gold companies, gold mining companies. So the first company I bought stock in was it's called Barrick Gold, and the interesting thing about that is about 3 months later, Warren Buffett bought 51% of the company. And so that gave me kind of confidence, like, okay, I understand this a little better than, I give myself credit for. Then I started to learn about Bitcoin, and, it's been a learning curve ever since. The last really 4.5 years since the pandemic, every day I get up and I study 2 hours a day reading about Bitcoin, understanding Bitcoin. And so, self-taught, and it's paid off tremendously. It's, changed a lot of situations for family and close people around me. So hopefully after this podcast, a few people can take away, some golden nuggets and learn about Bitcoin, and hopefully it'll pay off for them too. So Meek and I were talking earlier, and we were just saying, like, 2 years ago, Bitcoin was at 17,000, and today it's at 100,000. So if you'd have followed her 2 years ago and started investing into Bitcoin, you could have made quite a bit of profit. So the good thing is it's not too late. So take what information you can tonight and apply it, and I guarantee you, in 4 or 5 years from now, you won't regret it. So Bitcoin is an asset that'll go up forever, and we'll jump into that later on in the podcast. But the most important thing to do for everybody is just to get off zero. Whatever you do, just don't sit on the sideline and speculate. Just get off zero. Give yourself an opportunity to get some skin in the game. Whether it's $10, $100, just do something. And the easiest way to get set up, go on Cash App, set you up an account, and just get familiar with Bitcoin. Learn how to purchase it, learn how to, move it from, point A to point B. And then, as you're learning about it and as you're starting to invest, make sure you protect your assets. And so there's ways to do that. We may not have time to go deep into the podcast about it, but the first thing you should do with Bitcoin is just get familiar with it. Buy $10 worth, learn how to move it off Cash App onto they call it a cold wallet, which is a nano ledger. Just get familiar with it. and then just invest into it weekly. They call it dollar cost averaging, and everyone's financial goals are a little different. So even if you can only put in $10 a week, whatever the amount is, $10 a month, just make sure you accumulate. And the golden rule to Bitcoin is never sell it. That's how people get wealthy. That's how your billionaires, your Jeff Bezos and your Steve Jobs and, all those people, they got wealthy by accumulating assets. They didn't get wealthy by selling off their assets. So just remember that when it comes to wealth building is you have to make sure that, you buy and hold and not sell. A lot of people get nervous when the price of Bitcoin goes up and down. You shouldn't get nervous. You should actually celebrate. That means it's on sale. So just keep those things in mind. Um, there's a lot of rules to remember about Bitcoin, but the number one rule is don't sell it. You know, the way people get wealthy is they borrow against their assets. And so, for example, if Bitcoin, well, I'll share with you what my strategy is. So there's a lot of investment opportunities. Bitcoin is obviously one, but some people, they invest in real estate instead, and that's fine too. Some people buy stock. You can make money in all those areas, but my strategy is to buy the best property that's available for the cheapest amount. And right now, in my opinion, it's Bitcoin. And so what I plan to do over the next 5 to 10 years is buy as much Bitcoin as I can. Well, I plan on buying it forever, but I think within the next 10 to 20 years as well, we'll have the window of opportunity to make the most gains in Bitcoin before it goes through complete mass adoption and everybody in the world, owns Bitcoin. So what I plan to do is buy as much as I can, and in the next 5 to 10 years, borrow against my Bitcoin. So let's say the price of Bitcoin today is $100,000. In the next 5 years, I believe the price of Bitcoin will probably be anywhere between $1 million to $5 million. And so when Bitcoin reaches that mark, what I plan on doing is borrowing against it. So go to the bank, get a loan for $1 million, and go purchase some real estate. And so with that loan, now your property's paid for. There's no mortgage on the building because you took a $1 million loan against your Bitcoin, and you bought an investment property for cash. So there's no mortgage on the property. The only thing you have to worry about is paying back the loan against the Bitcoin. And so how you're going to do that is, or how I plan to do that is buy an apartment building. Let's say there's 10 tenants that live in the building. If each tenant is, paying your rent, remember there's no mortgage on the building. So all those profits can go toward paying off your Bitcoin loan. And once the loan of your Bitcoin is paid off, now you own a piece of property that has no mortgage. Now you have your Bitcoin returned to you because you took a loan against it. You didn't sell it. And so maybe in that time, maybe Bitcoin was $1 million. And by the time that loan is paid off, maybe Bitcoin's $2 million. So you have more Bitcoin in value. Now you have a piece of real estate that you own outright without a mortgage. And you just repeat. You go get the next property. And the nice thing about it is each time you do it, you pay off the previous property faster because you have more income to do that. So that's the infinite money game, in my opinion. That's what I plan on doing. And, hopefully this can kind of lay the groundwork for other people to follow the same direction. So that's just a little bit, about my strategy and what my short and long-term plan is for Bitcoin. So what questions do you have for me?
So honestly, you can talk and talk and talk, and the sad fact of the matter is, you have to get to Drew through me because he doesn't do social media, y'all. So all my friends were like, I'm private, and he works in healthcare, so I get it. But I don't want to hear about my dating story. The dude who I last dated said he was private, owned a business, and didn't know his wife didn't file a divorce papers.
Oh.
So now they're counseling, which I encourage because I believe in an intact family. I've just never been married, and I got divorced once he put hands. Hands was a no-no. That was a deal breaker. And that was, it took a few times. Like, I have pictures of the bruises and being dehydrated, and I just had a baby, and it wasn't his baby, and he knew that. But I don't know if he knew all that.
Nope. We're learning live, folks.
He's learning life. He didn't watch certain podcasts because shout out to In the Zone podcast. Let's show some podcast love because In the Zone is why I'm podcasting because I spoke about my divorce when they were asking. So this is about relationships which impacts your wealth. Okay, let's keep it real. And I went on that podcast and they were talking about divorce and all the reasons why. And when it came to me, mine was so complicated because I was like, I had to hire a private investigator. The judge wouldn't give me a no fault. They were like, you did illegal adoption. I'm like, how could it be illegal? I was married. Like, the hell, he was at the hospital. The daddy wasn't there. So when they finally got down to it and they like dug deeper, I was like, deal breaker. Hands on my throat, feeling like I'm having an out of body experience. Call my girlfriend, who's a social worker, who's the godparent to one of my kids, my son right now, and she's not Catholic, so she is. But I was like, this isn't right. Something's going wrong. Like, I don't know what his problem is. Angry black man with freckles and locks and all the nonsense, right? I hired a private investigator, but I was the one who told the private investigator, I think he works at this restaurant, go serve him his papers. I get this divorce, I'm pregnant, I don't want his name on the birth certificate. I live in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a state that blah, 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 blah. And I had already gotten, from a wealth perspective, I was already legally separated. I got legally separated 10 months in to protect my finances because I owned a condo, he owned nothing. Homeless. Like, he went to the University of Maryland, Eastern Shore, always knew everything. He kept getting fired. I'm trying to help him. I helped him get a job with Harold's. Like, shout out to Ken Caldwell. Thank you for hiring my ex-husband. And then he's bringing a duffel bag to work. I'm like, Negro. Ken's calling me like Tweeka. I'm like, so then he works at Jamba Juice. And now he has 3 kids by a white chick, and he acts like he don't like white people. But he likes white people, clearly. 3 kids. Shout out to Shannon. Girl, tell us before October 27th, I want my money back. That was retirement fund money to help him because his first baby mama got his driver's license suspended. And I would watch her call him over and over again all night long. Crystal Jacobs. Like, if you go on Facebook, look for this profile called Brenda Akello. That was her trying to, like, stalk me. Like, it's a 10-year-old account. I knew who it was. And when he left the house and was sleeping or, being homeless again, I would have to, like, go in his Facebook and figure out his password, like, crazy stuff. But my money was protected because I was legally separated. Because legal separation protects your finances. And on top of that, the judge was like, most of these legal separations end up in divorce. I mean, I get it, Judge. However, I'm Catholic. I didn't want to ever get divorced, but I had hit my limit with him. And then to have to hire a private investigator in order to get divorced, but no, my finances are secured, so I was good in that regard. But Shannon's over at the computer store. He's at pulling away when I'm like, I need to talk to my husband, bitch. Like, you're dating a married man. Yeah.
So back to Bitcoin.
From the nurse.
So
seriously,
no. It's good that you brought that up because one way you can protect your assets is in Bitcoin. No, really. If you're going through a tough time, you're going through, relationship ups and downs.
On how not to get got.
Yeah, it's Bitcoin can protect you and your family in the future. So I've known people that have gone through divorce and they've had their assets in Bitcoin. Make sure you get your paperwork in order, and this is before any type of marital commitments. Have things in order for your family. Like this just doesn't apply for marriage; it applies for death. We lost my father unexpectedly during COVID. And so, there were things that we wish we would have had in order previously. It was just things that, sometimes those are difficult conversations to have with family. what do you do after my death? But it's good to have those discussions, and it's good to have your affairs in order, because it's less burden on your family if that person's not around. And so
I'm sorry for your loss, though. Like, let's just say a prayer for your family and all the families that lost people during the pandemic. So, uh, just a reference to a prior podcast, Mel and Mo. Mel said he lost, I think it was Mel, lost 19 people during the pandemic. Let's acknowledge like the impact to your mental health, the impact to your finances. Can you imagine 19 funerals? Do you know how much a funeral costs? Like,
right.
if you don't have your funeral insurance, your burial costs covered, you don't want to have a pauper's funeral. Like, come on, if he's saying Bitcoin will help you get through those tough times. Now, here's the thing: I have court tomorrow. Let me just share with you. You have to disclose everything you have. So, guess who's been selling Bitcoin because cars in the toll lot and the daddy ain't paid child support in a year and a half. But I had to sell the Bitcoin. But I think I forgot to put it on the paperwork, and I got to update the paperwork. But do I have time to update the paperwork? Because how many jobs does Tamika have? Tamika works for herself. She's applying for corporate jobs and getting flooded with emails. My email account I keep having to delete out. A LITE Firestarters podcast host. I'm an R&B Factory host of Cocktails and Conversations, which we need a spot, y'all, on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I'm sorry, I'm out for Saturdays, I think. I got to talk to my producer. Shout out to Fabian. Shout out to the R&B Factory crew that's on the radio on Sunday. Shout out to Z Truth. Shout out to Tina Day. Tina D. TB is her nickname. Shout out to Marley Caprice, the turn up queen. And Theo Huff, I love you. You are awesome sauce. The whole team does so much and gives back to the community. The whole format of the show is about promoting entrepreneurs. So, with that being said, entrepreneurs need money. Where should you put your money? Entrepreneurs. What stock? If you watch the prior podcast, what did Drew recommend? This is where doing your research matters. What did Drew recommend you should follow? Put it in the comments. Maybe you'll win a prize because Tamika has a few prizes with her tonight.
Or maybe you'll win some Bitcoin.
Oh, hey, Bitcoin. There we go. Who you sponsoring that?
I guess.
Tamika's funds are so jacked until this judge gets to pay money. And then don't even get me started on unemployment insurance. If you don't understand, insurance was started in Europe to help the soldiers. So I'm about to be part of PHP agency. Shout out to Ms. Barbara. Shout out to my church family. Shout out to Our Lady of Africa Church. I'm just saying, I've sold insurance multiple times. I'm about to learn a new insurance format. I just had a conversation with Craig Wilson. Shout out to him. Thank you, LinkedIn, for connecting us. So LinkedIn folks, this is where LinkedIn was to my benefit with networking. And Craig was like, Tamika, one piece of advice I'm going to give you. Walk into it without all your past knowledge, because we're going to teach you our system, and our system actually is proven it works. Have an open mind, and that's so hard to do because I know so much, and I was soured. I was soured by if you go on my LinkedIn, look at the last insurance company I worked for, because they had all these young people working, and as a mom who had to get to the school to pick up the children and couldn't do 16-hour days, I couldn't do that. I have kids. Drew has a child who's grown. How's he doing, by the way?
Excellent.
And
So in
shout
AU, he's in the nursing program. So
always following in dad's footsteps.
Yep. So
and he has a good relationship with his co-parent for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
Great
that's
relationship.
Key. If you don't have a good relation, I have a good relationship with my son's dad. Okay, we co-parent actually very, very well. So I mean, what it comes down to is your relationships should be healthy. If your relationships are not healthy, you're gonna struggle. This is the struggle I'm in for my first child. Like, legit, because he's done what he's done, I have to share this. Legit, at Starbucks having a hour-plus conversation because he wants me to abort. And one day she's gonna see this, and I didn't do it. And he had to use his family and like, oh, this person in my family did it. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. This is my body. Okay? So shout out to women and our reproductive rights. Like, this is my body, Trump. This is my body, Republican. This is my body. Okay? And I was approaching 30 or I know I had her 31, whatever age. My God, this is my body. Like, I didn't know if I was gonna be blessed with more children. I have a daughter and a son. Shout out to Michaela and Jules. I love you, mommy loves you so much. He stole the name Dominique. I like that.
Well, I mean, he did come first.
He did. Wait, I met him at my graduation party and I Dominique. He was so adorable.
Thank you.
Once he told me he had a baby, I was like, oh, who's Alpha? I was like, girls, ladies, friends, Camp, they're living, you got a whole time to take care of.
Oh, grown folk stuff, you
Yeah,
know?
but you ever been married though?
No.
Good for you. I'm just saying. I'm just kidding. JK. JK. I said spicy topics, y'all. So digital's better than physical. Not in real life though.
I don't know. I don't know.
Woo! Score
I don't know. That's debatable.
Aisha.
That's debatable.
Is digital better than physical when it comes to real life? Is digital better than physical when it comes to real life relations? Physical better. Thank you, Aisha up in the corner. If y'all watched the pre-show, you met Aisha.
All right. Okay, you win there.
I win there. I win every day, all day, because I'm the best baby.
So when it comes to certain things, digital is better than physical, right? And I think we'll all agree. Like when you look
Physical, y'all.
when you look at the physical version of certain things and the digital version of certain things, digital just makes things a lot easier, right? Makes life easier. So what are some examples? Think about something that's a physical version, then they came out with the digital version and it made your life easier or better. So one example would be like maps. Remember, everybody used to use the paper maps and they used to get coffee stains on them and they used to get ripped and they used to get destroyed every time you would fold them and unfold them. And then they came out with digital maps, which is Google Maps, right? Google Maps is a magic map that it talks to you. It tells you where to go. It tells you what the traffic looks like. Thank God for Google Maps getting here. Made my life a lot easier because I could see where the traffic was. I could see which streets to take. The map talks to you, right? So we can all agree that a digital map is better than a physical map. What are some other things that are physical, but the digital version is better? Retail. Amazon is the largest retail provider, not because they own the most retail stores. It's because they have a digital catalog where you can shop for virtually anything from the comfort of your home. So I think we can all agree digital retail is better than the physical retail stores. So we can go across the board and just kind of ramble off digital versions of certain things. What is Airbnb? Airbnb is just digital hospitality, right? They turned every home into a hotel just with technology, right? They made every home a hotel with technology. So they did the digital version of hospitality. Same thing with Uber. Uber's the largest taxi cab provider, not because they own the most physical taxi cabs. They use technology, digital technology, to make everyday cars into taxi cabs. So whenever you can take a product or service and create a digital version of that, right? Dematerialize it. Usually the digital version is going to be better. So when you think about Bitcoin as just digital property. Don't think about it as money. Think about it as digital property. And then just ask yourself a simple question like, what form of property would I most prefer, right? Let's say you're going to the airport and you have $50,000 of gold, or you have $50,000 in cash, or you have $50,000 in Bitcoin. Which one of those properties do you think you're going to get on the airplane with? I can assure you it's not $50,000 worth of cash. You'll probably get pulled into customs. You'll probably get arrested. You'll probably get asked a million questions. Where did you get $50,000 worth of cash?
Let me just interject here because, Philly, I can't reach a power source, and I'm sorry guys, technical issue. I have, the extension cord I have is like not going to reach, I don't think. And I don't want to touch any of that, but that's the only power source I can see. Sorry, technical issue. But what I was going to say is that it's $5,000, I think, before you get flagged. Go ahead.
Sorry. They can check back and see if it has an extension cord. I know I don't have any.
That's okay. If you could, because we're going to be cutting it close on the show. Drew, go ahead. You're still live.
Okay. So technical issue means our battery's about to die. So
it's not going to die right now. We're just cutting it close, like it's on battery saver.
All right. I'll keep going. So if you go to the airport, you're not going to make it out of the airport with, or through the airport with $50,000 worth of cash. You're not going to make it through the airport with $50,000 worth of gold. But you will make it through the airport with $50,000 worth of Bitcoin, because it's digital property, right? So it's easy to move. It's easy to hide, right? If you're walking down the street, somebody doesn't know if you have a dollar worth of Bitcoin on you or $1 million worth of Bitcoin in your possession. So why is that important? It's important if you live in a country like Ukraine or a country that's at war and you want to get out of the country. Some people choose to lose their life protecting their, assets, their physical assets, whether it's your home or your gold or your possessions. Whereas digital property you can take with you at the drop of a dime. The other thing about Bitcoin is it's instant liquid, right? You can cash out Bitcoin at any time. I wouldn't recommend cashing out because you have to pay property gains taxes if you do. But Bitcoin is it's instant liquid, and so it's the only piece of property you can liquidate on a Sunday afternoon, and that has a lot of value because if there's a deal or a transaction you want to be part of. You can't sell your house on a Sunday and get the cash for it. You can't sell your stock on a Sunday and get the cash for it. But you could sell your Bitcoin and get the cash for it if you needed it. But again, I don't recommend selling your Bitcoin. If you want to do any transactions, I recommend borrowing against your Bitcoin. Take a loan against it. That way you don't lose the asset. Do your due diligence and pay the loan off. And that way you own, whatever you were seeking to buy, and then you get your Bitcoin back. So that's probably the easiest way to think about Bitcoin is just digital property. Another way digital property kind of protects you is because you can move it from one place to another in a text message. There's not too many pieces of property you can do that. Or move that quickly. But with Bitcoin, you can literally move your property with a text message. So if you had a family member in a different country, let's say you had someone in the Philippines and you're here in the States and you wanted to send them some money instantly, you could do it with a text message with Bitcoin. The traditional way of transferring money, it's very expensive. A lot of people they get taxed on fees when they try to move money, but when you move Bitcoin, the fees are minimum. So if you have family members in a different country that need money, Bitcoin's a much better way to get funds to those people, and it can happen in an instant. They don't have to wait 5 days or 10 days or 20 days for things to clear and the bank to make approval. It can be done, within seconds. So Bitcoin is the best form of property to move because it's digital property. So there's a lot of benefits to that. The other thing to remember about Bitcoin is that you don't have to buy a full Bitcoin, right? A lot of people get caught up on the price of Bitcoin. So right now it's sitting just at $100,000 or a little less. You don't need 100 grand to buy Bitcoin. You can buy a piece of Bitcoin. You can buy $10 worth. You can buy $100 worth with whatever's comfortable for you. There's not a lot of pieces of property where you can buy a portion of it, right? If you wanted to buy real estate, you can't say, you know what, I can't afford the whole apartment building, but can I buy 2 steps, right? It doesn't work that way. So, but with Bitcoin, you can say I can't afford a whole Bitcoin, but I want to buy a portion of it or just $100 worth of property. And so it's easy to do because it's digital. The other thing to assess when you're buying any type of property or making any investment is ask yourself, um, do I bleed capital? Meaning, do I lose money um, by purchasing, this particular piece of property? So let's compare Bitcoin to real estate. Real estate's a good investment, but you also bleed capital when you purchase real estate. So how do you bleed capital? Property taxes, right? Even when you own a property, you still have to pay the property taxes. And so, yes, you have money coming in from your investment, but you also have money going out the door because of property taxes. Maintenance, you have to pay to maintain the property, right? You have to replace the roof, you have to repaint it when a tenant moves out. So there's maintenance costs that come with maintaining a physical piece of property. With Bitcoin, you don't have those barriers, right? There's no property tax on Bitcoin. There's capital gains tax if you sell it, but there's capital gains tax if you sell your real estate. That's why I suggest not selling your Bitcoin. There's no maintenance cost for Bitcoin, right? There's no cost to maintain it. It could last forever. It could last much longer than any type of physical property. Let's say you bought an apartment building. Maybe that building's going to be in good standing for 80 to 100 years, but at some point that building's going to get too old, the structure's going to get too old, and they're going to have to rebuild it. You don't have that challenge with Bitcoin. And so the point I'm trying to make is if you're trying to um, choose a piece of property you want to leave for your grandchildren, right? Mika has kids, I have kids. So, we have families. And so what's the best form of property to leave behind for future generations, right? Let's take cash. Let's say you had $1 million worth of cash and you wanted to leave it for your great grandchildren. Well, the problem with that is we all know we lose purchase power year after year. That's why when you go to the grocery stores, things cost much more, right? You can buy much less with your $100 today than you could 5 years ago, than you could 10 years ago. And why is that happening? It's because we're losing purchase power over time. So if we rewind 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago when the pandemic hit, what happened? Everything shut down, and then they did this massive stimulus, right, where they printed $2 trillion worth of money out of thin air. And so if you do that, just remember, a lot of people celebrate it like, yeah, we're getting free money, and that's great and all, but what they don't tell you is, yeah, you're gonna get this free money, but we're increasing the money supply, which means you lose purchase power, which means you're gonna pay more at the grocery stores. And inflation is hidden tax, so you don't see it right away. You see it, usually about 12 to 18 months later is when you really start to feel it. And we're feeling it today, right? We're feeling it when we go to the grocery stores. We're feeling it when we go to the gas station. We feel it when we go.
How much is the cost of eggs, y'all?
Yeah, exactly.
No, seriously, the cost of eggs is going up. Do we know why? I know why. Do you know why?
Yep. Because of inflation. Yeah, it's because of inflation. So
wait, let me just throw another thing out there. Because shout out to Nigeria, I love y'all, especially for giving me data. But when you think about why other countries understand math better than us, like the abacus, wherever they're using it, when you think about Nigeria and their inflation, if you're talking thousands of dollars and you have to do that math daily, Why is your math skills stronger than the American child's math skills? Why? When I went to the Senegalese restaurant last night, and the child is telling me, I got $1,000,000 or $1,000. No, he said $1,000,000 and he had 2 single-dollar bills. Why is his math skill stronger than yours? It's simply Common Core is important. Like, you get why we switched to Common Core? Because they are intuitively already taught Common Core because their inflation is so much higher than ours. I'm a Duke University Blue Devil, educated in economics. I'm not talking about Freakonomics. Shout out to Lysandra and her professor. Thank you for my signed copy of Freakonomics. I'm just
Great
saying,
book.
it is a great book. But let's talk about Blink and Malcolm Gladwell. Let's talk about the movie Crash. Let's talk about all the things that have already taught us what we need to know, but are you paying attention? What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie all time? I would say Good Will Hunting.
How you like them apples? And what I will say is, I know that this, you probably think this looks like a Nightmare commercial, but I promise you it's not. I say shout out to Cher, and we're gonna give Stacey Dash a pass. We're gonna give her a pass. But if you follow me, if you know me, what's my favorite movie, y'all? And when we play these games on Facebook, when we play these games on Instagram, when we play on TikTok, and people are data mining to learn about you and scam you, how does that impact your wealth? How do you get scammed during a pandemic like I did? 15K, y'all. 15K, and I'm still paying down credit card debt, and it's my responsibility because it was in my name, and I'm out of the goodness of my heart, I'm thinking, oh, it's an army guy, he can't da 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 da. Sending stuff to who knows what that address was in Texas. And then the nurse I was dating, not him, the nurse I was dating at the time asked me, and I'm like, I'm not even going to tell anybody how bad I got scammed over love. Because he was supposed to come into town, and I'm looking at the picture like, this looks edited, but hey, it's the pandemic, da 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 da. I'm just saying, the data mining is scary, the AI, don't be scared of AI because it's here to stay.
Yep.
It's here to stay, whether we're talking Bitcoin, whether we're talking the Illuminati people, those mofos got me too. Talking about $500, you'll get it back. I ain't seen not a dime back. Be careful of the scammers, the orange guys in office. The orange clown, I call him. Orange, whatever, Trump. The makeup, it is orange. It's orange. It's orange. Yo, get a makeup artist that knows your color. Look, my color, the blue, because LITE Firestarters, the company colors is blue. It's in the corner, y'all. It's in the corner. Like, come on. Give me, like, tell us again, like, what, get off zero. What is NGU again?
Number go up.
Number go up. Did you take notes, y'all?
Yep. Number go up.
Hey, shout out to all those who get the replay. Make sure you take your notes. What did we say? Digital is better than physical. We're wrapping up, y'all, in case you didn't know. All Star Seafood and Sports is on Chicago Restaurant Week. I always say start with pursuing your passion. What are you passionate about? What do you want to fund? What do you want to fund? Because I pursue my passion. First company, Royal TKO Media, PIP. That if you know, then you know, because that means you work with me if you know what PIP is. I'm not going to tell you here because that's a speaker's bureau. It's defunct right now, but that's intentional because I want it to be an escort. What you know about escorts? And shout out to the almost not divorced dude because he has an escort. Oh, was I not supposed to share that because he's private? But all you have to do is go on irs.gov, look up a company name. I'm at LLC. What does that mean? Hey, how are you? It's Candyman. Thank you for joining. I'm a limited liability corporation, and if I lose y'all on the StreamYard, I'm gonna get it back up. Just give us a minute. We've got 10 minutes, but they never came back with a power cord, which is fine. I could move us, but I've got so much stuff I don't want to move us right now, guys. So anyway, again, thank you, IG. It's Kenny Man. Love you for that. My point to you is that you have to understand the rules. The IRS puts all the rules up there, and the government is slow. The taxman gonna get his money. He gonna give you all the time in the world to get your finances order. Like, I'm going to court tomorrow. I didn't even get a chance to submit the updates because I gotta be to the office at 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. Be there when it opens. I gotta be online. I gotta submit all this paperwork. Judge, I can't even properly pay my LLC fees because dude hasn't paid child support in over a year and a half. Unemployment insurance, I have 15,000 in unemployment insurance. Why am I not receiving it? This company wrongful termination. This company discrimination. I gotta find an attorney. It's a ultra niche field. I'm my own attorney, meaning pro se. Do I know all the rules?
You know enough.
Do you know all the rules? I'm just saying. I was fingerprinted in Series 7 and 63 license. What does Series 7 and 63 mean? It means I could be a financial advisor. I'm about to get licensed again in insurance. Insurance has been around for more than 100 years. Don't believe the hype. It's been around for more than 100 years. But Drew just said you can carry 50,000 without anyone knowing on an airplane. On an airplane. To scammers know. You know they fucking know this because why are they pushing crypto? Why are they pushing Bitcoin? Because crypto is locked. If you watch the first podcast, he told you why it's so important to hold on to your Bitcoin. When someone loses their Bitcoin, it is lost forever. Why is that, Drew?
Oh, it's on a blockchain. So if you send Bitcoin to the wrong address, let's say you wanted to send Bitcoin from one person to the next, make sure you're sending it to a Bitcoin address. If you send it to like a Bitcoin Cash address or a XRP or a Solano or any of those other, BS coins, just, know that sending your it's like sending your money to the wrong bank account, right? Once it's sent, there's no turning back. So that's why I said get off zero, get comfortable with just transacting with Bitcoin, get comfortable with moving it from point A to point B, and more importantly, this is not financial advice, but just educate yourself. You know, if you want your life to change, if you want things to change for you, you have to be willing to kind of come out of your comfort zone and learn something new, learn something different. I'm still learning. I've been, studying Bitcoin for, going on 5 years now, and I still don't know everything about it. It's a long learning curve, but the more you learn, the more you'll become, invested into it, and you'll go from allocating, 1% of your finances to 5% to 10% to 50% to and greater. So, but get off zero. Just get some skin in the game. Go to Bitcoin meetups. A good person to follow if you want to learn about Bitcoin. Michael Saylor. He's done a lot of interviews. So just go on YouTube and start studying Michael Saylor videos. He even has a website. It's called hope.com. If you go on that website, you can take free Bitcoin courses. So there's a million and one ways to get exposure to it, a million and one ways to start to learn about it. And get your family and friends involved too. One good game to play with your family and your friends. It's a board game similar to Monopoly. It's called Cash Flow by Robert Kiyosaki. So it's a good way just to kind of learn about finances, learn about a balance sheet, learn about the difference between assets and liabilities. Golden rule for those two: asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. Liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket.
So I got another recommendation for you guys. If for your kids, because I ran the internship program. Shout out to the Capital Markets. Shout out to a Black-owned investment bank. Okay. Shout out to Williams Capital, also Black-owned, New York-based, but Chicago, Chi-Town love. Shout out to Jim Reynolds, one of my mentors. I had the interns that I would lead play the stock market game. I also had them go to the Chicago Board of Trade. I I gotta add us to the stage. I think I'm on the stage, y'all. All right, we're on the stage. Let me just talking about before we lost signal for a second there. So Black-owned investment bank. I'm trying to check out this Chime. I'm trying to check out Chime has a game, and Chime is basically, if you remember the green dot. But yeah, Drew, in the last 4 minutes, I'm gonna let you wrap up a little bit. I gotta plug this in so we can get light back.
So yeah, just couple takeaways for tonight is number one.
Sorry, y'all. I gotta get him right.
Get off zero. Get some skin in the game. Just start learning about it. Start educating yourself. Start asking questions. There's all the technology in the world to learn about anything. Get familiar with Chat GPT. There's a lot of, it's open AI. There's any question you have can get answered by the open AI technology. So don't be fearful of it. Embrace it. You have to lean into technology and changes. Don't lean away from it because you'll get left behind. So get familiar with Chat GPT. Ask questions. Follow people on Twitter. That's probably the easiest way to get real-time information, up-to-date information. So there's a lot of people invested in the Bitcoin that post daily on Twitter. So just find your niche. Find a way to get involved. Again, you don't need a lot of money.
And always have a backup plan.
Yes, definitely. Have a backup plan. Have a backup for the backup.
Always. You see what I had to do here, y'all.
Yep.
Like I Negro rigged it. I Negro rigged it for real though. But thank you so much, Drew, for coming on. We've got to wrap up because StreamYard will ding me if I go over an hour. But tonight was awesome. I hope you learned a lot. It wasn't my typical spicy. I got a little comedy in, but Drew is if I've ever told you guys about Disc Profile. So when I worked for for a major pharmaceutical company, top 50 company, we did disc profiling, and I'm a D, which means I'm dominant personality. I'm a driver. I like to get things done. I'm like, what are we doing, and how do I make it happen? I would say Drew has to be an S or a C, which means he's a thinker. He has to get like all the details, and that's why we balanced each other out. I think people hated on us in high school because they used to tell me Drew was cheating on me, and I was like, but how? I talk to him all day, every day, all the time. Like, I've been to the restaurant, we had fun at the restaurant. You'd be cleaning the damn grates and shit. I'm like, really, dude? Like, you have to clean the grates? Like, we'd be in the office. I'm like, how did he cheat on me, y'all? Like, for real, y'all are such haters. Like, why? If he didn't have Dominique I was like, well, you got a lot of work ahead of you. I could have been his one. I'm his special friend.
Yep. Well, we've stayed in contact all this time.
He's my first for so many things. Like, not all of it's your business, but I'm just saying, like, we got in trouble for each other. I'd be on the phone. My mama knew I was on the phone talking to him. It wasn't even like I was hiding it because it was such an open format home. But like, we love each other. It's not a loved. We were in love with each other. We love each other. We loved each other hard. That passion, like when I say start with pursuing your passion, there's a reason behind it. There's a reason why we are so well connected and have such a strong foundation with one another. I bet you he unconsciously wore blue. Is that your favorite color?
Yep.
My son's favorite color is blue. Mine is purple. Blue and red. Blue for calming, red for love, make purple. But purple is the color of royalty. So we're in our last 3 seconds before StreamYard gives me a hard time. Anything concluding thoughts you want to share?
Get off zero. Remember, number goes up forever when it comes to Bitcoin. Start learning now. There's still a lot of time, but it won't be an opportunity that's around forever.
And with that, I will tell y'all to go find you a charity to support, because the other thing is, it's a write-off. Like every time I donate to Pacific Garden Mission, every time I donate to St. Margaret's Village, I make sure to get my receipt. I don't put it on those donation boxes. I get my receipt from Salvation Army from whichever nonprofit you support. So shout out to Marwin, who supports my daughter in the arts. Please support Marwin. Please donate to them. Shout out to RAIN, Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network. Um, St. St. Margaret's Village, a domestic violence shelter that I also support. All these nonprofits. Shout out to Englewood Branded. Now, Englewood Branded is profitable, but he does an event that's nonprofit. That's a tax write-off. And that is what I'm going to end with. I gave you a whole bunch of nonprofits to support. Have a great evening. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Love you. Signing out. Did you like it?